The Chicago Bears have completely remade this offense with Rome Odunze, the wide receiver out of Washington. This is such a good pick. I absolutely cannot believe it. Now you have 2 guys in their early 20s, 2 blue chip players on this offense. You've got Caleb Williams and Romo Odunze. We do not have to pay them for years, and they can mature with each other. They can play together. We're talking about a 6'3" wide receiver weighing 212 pounds. He's 21 years old, a junior out of the University of Washington. And we're talking about the ringer.com views him as having shades of Devontae Adams. They're looking at him as an instinctual playmaker, a pro ready frame at 6'3" and 212 pounds, sure hands, smooth framework. And if you watch his film, if you watch any college football last year, if you just watched highlights on ESPN when you weren't watching Caleb Williams highlights. This is a guy with such a long stride, with speed, with acceleration. He can run all the routes in the book. He is an absolutely complete receiver, and he's now a Chicago Bear. He's a guy that makes plays. He can make plays at all 3 levels. He has the speed to make plays deep, which is absolutely unbelievable. He has the strength to come down with the ball in traffic. Watch that catch. His 2023 stats, and this is what we are getting. 1,640 yards that led college football, 17.8 yards per reception. 13 touchdowns, 92 receptions. That is what we're getting to join our team. And it's not only a player that's going to make our team dynamic at the outset, it's also so much protection. I don't know if you guys saw the contract that AJ Brown signed today. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but with what he just got signed at, we're looking at Keenan Allen not signed to a new contract. And what money is he going to demand? We got Keenan Allen, and he would not sign a new deal with the Chargers because he refused to come down on his money. I think his cap hit was like 25 million. Now you're looking at these new receivers getting 30 million. So we've got a couple things with Keenan Allen. I'm so glad he's here at least for this year because he's going to be someone that's a security blanket for Caleb Williams no matter what. Wherever Caleb Williams looks, if it's in the slot, if it's outside, if he's in trouble, if he's bouncing out of the pocket, Keenan Allen has been playing long enough that he can be in the spot that he needs to be without any coaching up, right? So he's an incredible safety net for Caleb Williams. So now you've got Caleb Williams, you've got Keenan Allen, you've got DJ Moore, you've got Rome Odunze now, 6'3", 212 pounds. And I think this is really interesting. It's not only makes us dynamic immediately, but it also does something. It keeps us dynamic. Because I talked about this yesterday on my show. Let's say Keenan Allen gets hurt. Or let's say Keenan Allen, we can't sign him to a deal after this. Let's say we can't do that. Let's say Keenan Allen goes out and he gets injured. If Rome Odunze is not there, are we still a dynamic offense? Looking at our offense without Keenan Allen, without Rome Odunze, if something happens to one of our receivers, does it still blow your skirt up? Does it still look like we are setting up Caleb Williams to succeed? I think absolutely not. We're going to be looking at Jones. We're going to be looking at Scott. We're going to be looking at Dante Pettis as our number 2 receiver. It gives us insurance to be dynamic throughout the rest of the year, no matter what, if we have an injury. And I honestly think that Ryan Poles did enough with this offensive line. We got dynamic guys on the offensive line that might not be all pros, but they're sneaky good. We have guys on the offensive line that can play every single position up and down the line. Let's look at Rome Odunze's combine results. A 4.45 40-yard dash. That's in the 10th percentile at the position. or excuse me, 70th percentile at the position. You're looking at a guy that is 6'3", 212 pounds, that can still run a 4.45. You've got a vertical of 39 inches, 86th percentile. You've got a broad jump of 10.4. I'd like to see how that shows up on the RAS score. The three cone drill. Here's the thing, you've got a guy that has such a work ethic. He had a 6.88 time on the three cone drill. That's a 76th percentile rating on the three cone drill. That's pretty good, right? But this guy is a baller. This guy is a grinder. It bothered him so much that he knocked down a cone that you guys, if you were watching the NFL Combine, long after the cameras were gone, all the lights are down. People are starting to leave to chill at home. Rome Odunze is still out there on his fifth, sixth, seventh try, trying to get that cone drill absolutely perfect. And this says something about his work ethic. This is why I want a guy like this on my team. At that point, his score on the cone drill, it didn't even count to his combine profile. It didn't even count as far as his draft stock. He is just such a perfectionist. He wants to work hard so much to the point that he was willing to stay there to get it absolutely perfect. What bothers me is I never found out if he actually got it perfect. If you guys heard about that, let me know. But you're at the combine. You do something that you're in the 75th percentile, and that's not good enough for you. That's the guy I want on my team. I'm so glad he's a Chicago Bear. You've got a 90th, 96th percentile 4-second 20-yard shuttle. His arm length. This is what I love. He's right there. His arm length is 32 and a quarter. Like that's fantastic. His hand size is 9 and a quarter inches. So I think what you're doing with Odunze, and then I'll get to the comments, you're looking at a twitchy pass catcher, a big muscular frame, super strong hands, super good at starting and stopping as far as acceleration as a route runner. He runs a mean curl route too. He stops on a dime. So many times if you watch his film, he stops on a dime, and the cornerbacks just fly past. It's so much fun. He's a big play threat too. We've got yet another guy. We've got DJ Moore, who kind of can do it. Keenan Allen is going to play from the slot most of the time, but we actually have like this perfect match. This guy that is huge physically, but he can also absolutely take the top off the defense. This guy can streak down the field. And on top of that, he scored 6 touchdowns on passes of 20 plus yards in 2023. That ties for 7th nationally, on top of leading the nation in receiving yards. He tracks the ball beautifully. He creates separation late in his route. He does shoulder bumps. He does subtle push-offs. He brings top shelf body control and balance. He has the ability so many times, if you watch his film, that he jumps and spins and catches the ball before adjusting his feet to land. He keeps running downfield after that, which is absolutely insane. He catches the ball away from his frame. He excels in contested catch situations. He caught 9 of 14 contested catch passes on deep throws last year. Just absolutely incredible. What else? I'm going to the Minnesota Vikings selection. They're getting a guest person. I'm just so excited here. TheRinger.com also talks about how he runs through arm tackles after the catch, how he was frequently used on screenplays, how he weaved his way through traffic, picking up chunks of yards, good feel for zones. He's not just a man-to-man threat. He does really good in zones. He's really good at finding the hole in the zone and like popping into the empty spot. He's just really, really good. Good anticipation, and he works really hard in the run game. He uses physicality to punch and wall off opponents. He's a good blocker. He's just reliable and consistent. And here's the thing that I absolutely love. Only 3 drops on 140 targets last season per PFF. So you're looking at a player that not only led the league in reception yards, only 3 drops on 140 targets. I don't know what that percentage is. What is that? Like under 2%? Under 2%. The Minnesota Vikings just picked JJ McCarthy, and how masterful is that? The Minnesota Vikings not only traded for an extra first round pick, They didn't have to use it to package to trade up to get JJ McCarthy. They got it like in the honest way, and that's absolutely fantastic. I'm really happy for JJ McCarthy. So what are we looking at for the Vikings? Now the Vikings, I think Justin Jefferson, I think he turned down a 30 million deal in the offseason. Does this mean with McCarthy, does that mean it's enough to sign Justin Jefferson to an absolute league-shattering contract? The bag that Justin Jefferson gets now, it's going to be absolutely insane. And I think now he has motivation to sign the contract. I think that's the thing. The thing on Odunze too in the ringer.com is just a great profile. Go to the ringer.com's NFL draft sheet on their big board by Danny Kelly. It's just so useful and it guides you through the draft. I'm using it right now because I'm not an encyclopedia up here. I couldn't think of Calvin Ridley's name, so I can't. Um, so the big board, it tells us why he could rise, why he's going to be fantastic. They're saying that he's a hyper productive pass catcher with the size of a number one receiver in the NFL. He's dangerous deep. He wins at the catch point. This guy just high points the ball. He can run every single route in the book. Just like I said, he can play in the slot. He can run go routes. He can run curls. He has wiggle. He has acceleration. He can stop on a dime. He can catch in the end zone. It's just so good. The only knock on him is that he needs to refine his skill on route running. He lacks explosiveness after the catch. I don't know if I agree with that. I watched a lot of film. He isn't going to be a dynamic weapon there. This is weird with draft profiles, and I want to quibble with this a little bit. So it's talking about he lacks explosiveness after the catch and isn't going to be a dynamic weapon deep. But then they're also saying that he takes the lid off the top of defenses. So it's just so weird with draft profiles. Anyways, Romo Dunze, welcome to the Chicago Bears. I am absolutely overjoyed. This is like Christmas. You guys tell me what you think. I'm going to go to the comments here. Bear down. What a great pick.